Conversations with presidents, cultural icons, and game changers in every field of human endeavor. If you missed the first cohort, the good news is that we're already planning the next one. Now, the seats will be limited, and those on our waiting list will receive exclusive early access and special discounts not available to the general public. So, if you are ready to transform the way you connect, lead, and build trust, do not hesitate. Go to TavishTalks.com and join the waiting list today. That's TavishTalks.com. The next cohort is coming. Make sure you are in the room. I'm Tavish Smiley, and I hope to see you there.
Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Maybe LA. Top 1580, download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. This is what 61 years old feels like. I had a moment this morning because normally the first person that would wake me up on March 11th was always my father. He would remind me that he was going to name me Selma because that's where he was when I was born in Greenville, South Carolina. And of course, my mother, to her everlasting credit, intervened in that process and said, no, he will not be named Selma just because you're marching from Selma to Montgomery. He's going to be named Jesse Jackson Jr. And the more I think about it, it's the highest honor of my life to carry the name of the Reverend Jesse Jackson. I gave it to my son, Jesse Jackson III. I also gave it to my daughter, Jessica Jackson, and I'm particularly honored that birthday number 61 is right here on KBLA Talk 1580. It's Wealthy Wednesdays on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Our regular contributor is none other than P.L. De Silva. P.L. De Silva is a scholar, a professor, a thinker, a diplomat, a negotiator on behalf of peace and justice around the world. And he is on Wealthy Wednesdays, our regular contributor on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. PL, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Thank you, Jesse, and a very happy birthday to you.
I appreciate that very much. PL, let me begin with the obvious. The administration is now claiming that it had no idea that Iran would not engage in mano-a-mano fighting. Hi, Professor Sipes. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you, Jess.
I'm sorry. I'm so glad that you popped up. I'll let PL introduce you in just a moment. It doesn't look like Iran's going mano-a-mano with the United States, but it seems to be lashing out at everyone in the region, from Bahrain to the Qatari to any nation within the reach of their strategic arms reserves. PL, what does this mean for the world? Where are we going with this process that Donald Trump has gotten us into?
So I'm going to give a few quotes from soon after the classified, the closed-door classified briefing at the U.S. Senate. So Senator Ed Markey said, Trump is out of control. And he said that he attacked Iran because he had a feeling. And then Senator Markey goes on to say that there is no clue of the endgame. Then Senator Elizabeth Warren said, there is no plan. It's all based on lies. And then Senator Chris Van Hollen said, there's complete incoherence. And Netanyahu decided the script.
From West Chester and why?
So I find it fairly interesting that the president, Dr. Seid, says that he has a feeling. I thought in a moment that he was auditioning for the Black Eyed Peas, that he's got a feeling. And holy mackerel, Dr. Michael Eric Dyson is now joining us on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Hi, Professor Dyson. How are you? This was my seminary professor when I was at Chicago Theological Seminary. Professor
Happy
Seid,
birthday to you, my man. Had to call and wish you happy birthday, sir. 61, like Roger Maris breaking Babe Ruth's record. 61.
Professor Dyson, thank you for joining us on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. And thank you for coming on to wish me a happy birthday. I know that we have 2 minutes before we come forward, but Dr. Dyson, let me now apply the same question to Dr. Aubrey Hendricks, who is joining us. Oh boy. Hi, Dr. Hendricks. I was trying to get an answer to a question about Iran, but I can't stop reading Aubrey Hendricks' wonderful posts about my father and the magnificent speech delivered by my brother Jonathan Jackson at my father's memorial. Dr. Hendricks, looking forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Yeah, so I just wanted to come on like my brother Michael Dyson to wish you a happy birthday, brother, and tell you how proud I am of you, brother, for your commitment to the struggle, your eloquence, your political acuity, and to recommit us. I've told you personally that I will, support you in any way that I possibly can, brother, to help as you move forward to live out your father's legacy and try to bring some justice and sanity to this government.
Dr. Hendricks, so much of my strength comes from your theological understanding and the books that you've written, Christians Against Christianity, The Politics of Jesus, and of course, my seminary professor, Dr. Michael Eric Dyson. Most of us don't stick our feet in this hot water or even stick our neck across the fence unless our faith precedes us. And both you and Dr. Dyson are two of the most notable biblical scholars and theologians in our African-American tradition that have ever existed. And I want to thank you for the courage and for the strength that you provide to the spines and to the backbones of generations of African-Americans and progressives, regardless of their race, sex, or class, who read both of your extraordinary work.
Thank you, Congressman. Look forward to you and Jonathan shaking hands in the halls of Congress soon.
Professor Hendricks, it would be my high honor to have the privilege of serving with my brother in that auspicious institution. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You're listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. It's my birthday. And I've been surprised at the very beginning of our show, for which I am extremely grateful. Thank you to our producer, Gina Towns, and to our engineer, Taz Scott. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
All the women who independent, throw your hands up at me.
This March, we're turning up the volume on the women who changed everything. KBLA Talk 1580 is proud to celebrate Women's History Month, honoring the trailblazers, truth tellers, and game changers who shaped our world, our culture, and our community. From the freedom fighters to the firsts, from the boardroom to the front lines, from the unsung to the unforgettable, all month long, we're celebrating the stories, the voices, and the conversations that remind us that women, Black women, have always led the way. Don't miss a moment. This is our moment. This is our story. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580, Los Angeles' home for the conversations that matter.
I'm your girl, you're my girl, we're your girls. Won't you know that we love you?
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part, they accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Febreze.
New Febreze Air Mist has 50% more odor fighters and up to 30% more fragrance than the old formula. So now you can take on 100% more stinky odors, like sweaty gym bags, greasy cooking smells, and the after effects of the dog rolling around in something. Just spray, and new Febreze Air instantly restores just clean freshness. Smell you later, odor.
Happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Jesse Jackson Jr. Looking forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. It's my birthday. And as you all can imagine, I've been a little down lately. This is the first birthday I have had where I did not hear from my father first thing in the morning to remind me of the context of my birth. March 11th, 1965. My father was in Selma, Alabama. My mother was in Greenville, South Carolina. My father sent my mother to Greenville knowing that she was 9 months ready to give birth to me. What he did not fully appreciate was the significance of what was taking place from Selma to Montgomery. So he calls Greenville, South Carolina, and he tells my mother that he wants his firstborn son to be named Selma. And I think I probably looked up from my mother right at that point and said, don't let him do that. Don't let him do that, even before I could speak the English language. And she said, you know what? I'm with you, Jesse Jr. You're Jesse Jr. And so she named me Jesse Jackson Jr. And my father ultimately agreed with that. And here we are with these names. And, you know, it's like the names in the Bible. They have a way of following you, and you begin reading the stories of the circumstances of your birth, and they put you right there in contextualized history. This is Wealthy Wednesdays on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Our regular contributor is P.L. De Silva, and I know that Dr. Sipes is also joining us on this show and during this hour. In the previous segment, a couple of surprise guests, including Dr. Michael Eric Dyson, who is still here, and Dr. Obery Hendricks, who is still here. I wasn't quite expecting that. Dr. Dyson, let me ask you a question that I tried to launch for Dr. Sipes and P.L. De Silva. From your perspective, Dr. Dyson, what does this preemptive strike on Iran and the spreading of this global crisis truly represent?
Well, I wish we could resolve it with the words of a song sung by the man who sang at your father's funeral on Saturday, Stevie Wonder, when he said, Iraq, Iran, and everything, don't you worry about a thing. Well, we worried right now because this autocrat, this dictator, this, if you will, foolish fascist and a man who is a demagogue has decided to start a war of choice against Iran. But we know it's in cahoots with Benjamin Netanyahu, the Donald Trump of Israel. So they are hail fellows well met. And this is something that, you know, Netanyahu tried to get Biden and people before Trump to get involved with, but he's the only dupe to take the bid of this equally problematic leader of Israel, and now committing war that has no end, that has no objective clearly articulated, has no consent of Congress, and has no, if you will, logic that would inform it other than the pursuit of oil, the denial of, you know, the right of people to be governed by those they choose. Now, we're not trying to romanticize, you know, the legal and leadership structure of Iran, because we know thuggery prevails, but thuggery prevails here. Is somebody going to invade us and then dispose of our president and get one of their choosing? This is a colonial gesture, an imperial impulse that has to be seen in concert with so many other things. The invasion of Venezuela, for example, by a president who has no bounds. The extreme court will not impose restraints.
Not the extreme
court seem to be deferring to him, especially when the appeals court seems to have his back, and the Congress doesn't seem to have the wherewithal to oppose him. So this man is basically exercising illegitimate authority in ways that are highly destructive.
Dr. Dyson, let me just share with everyone that we've been joined by a man who needs no introduction. And of course, it's my 61st birthday. So my producer Gina Towns has organized an extraordinary show. But my father saw Reverend Al Sharpton in the tradition of being a disciple of his, and more specifically, Reverend Sharpton, Reverend James Meeks and I were called to be disciple. I said, I just want to be your son. But Reverend Sharpton stepped right up and said, I can assume this responsibility. A man who needs no introduction and a man whose leaderships I have come to profoundly respect over the course of my life. Reverend Sharpton, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show with Obery Hendricks, Dr. Michael Eric Dyson, Professor Sipes, Dr. P.L. De Silva. So glad that you're here, Reverend.
Well, I'm glad to be here. I'm in the middle of my radio show, but I had to call so that people around the nation know that your birthday is a very special day because what you have personified is you brought a new level of taking your family, both your mother and father's work, to another level. And even when, and I have questions whether it was fair or not, but even when you had problems, you have now personified for millions of people that they can redeem themselves. So God has used you in a special way to show how you can rise. And even when they wrongfully take you down, you can rise again. So I think the meaning of your life is more important than what you could ever imagine. And I learned a lot. Your father was a major influence, was the major influence in my life. But I also learned a lot from you, the resilience and the strength you show. And let me tell you, people need to understand, for the 17 years you were in Congress, you were productive. Getting you to come have a press conference was like, trying to rob a bank. Frank Watkins and you would, no, we're about policy. You didn't showboat. You got stuff done. You believed in policy. We used to sometimes neglect calling you because you're going to give us a 10-minute lecture on Reverend Al. Do you know about HR 123? No, you don't know. Let me tell you that. You are as serious as anybody I've met in life. And I just want you to know, I've known your father since I was 12 years old. So I just about known you since you were born. I known you since you was about 4, 5, because you're right behind me. And you've grown. You are a giant in your own making. You're not just his junior, but you have brought it to another level. So I wanted to break it up from my show to wish you a happy birthday. Know how much we love you. A lot of the crowds are gone since the funeral's over. I will never be gone until my funeral. I'm going to be with the Jacksons, whether y'all like it or not, especially Jesse Jr.
I know that I'm going to be losing Reverend Sharpton to his own radio show, but I want you all to know that since I've lost my father and my brothers and sisters have lost our father, in this moment, when I see you, Reverend Sharpton, Reverend Hendricks, Dr. Dyson, and of course, our other 2 contributors, I see my dad. And I see all of the people who are influencing his thinking, including debating with him. And I feel like I'm in that space and that his spirit dwells within each of us. And ultimately, I think when we all come together, Reverend Sharpton, we're all going to feel the same way when we feel his presence, because he left each and every one of us with a unique impression, an impression that is the sum of who he was and who he is in our hearts. Thank you, Reverend Sharpton.
So about it. Let me thank you for that. And let me also say that I was reading, I get up at 4 and work out at 5. I was reading the program over again that we did for the funeral. And I was reading what Obi Hendricks wrote in the actual program. And I am, the first time I'm giving credit, but by the time I hit the road, that's going to be mine, Obi. That's all mine. You didn't write any.
No, you're welcome to it. You're welcome.
Happy birthday, Jesse.
I love you, Reverend Al. Appreciate you so much. Reverend Hendricks, let me ask you the same question. Evangelicals seem to be backing this conflict in the Middle East on religious and biblical grounds, suggesting the expansion of Israel proper belongs as far away from Jerusalem as Tehran. Professor Hendricks, your thoughts about the theological foundation that seems to be, and even biblically scholasticism, that angle on what this conflict means and is driving some of this behavior.
Yeah. I mean, they're just like, in so many respects, they've got it wrong. Starting with the whole chosen people thing. Well, no, God chose them to exemplify what justice looks like in the world. They failed that, of course. And what we're looking at underlying is this Christian Zionism that actually is anti-Judaism, which calls for Israel to establish itself in that region, its hegemony, as a prelude to the second coming of Christ, in which they will be destroyed if they don't accept him as Messiah. So it's all backward. But more than that, the reason why the reason why America is supporting this has to do largely with racism and anti-Islamism. It's political calculation is as Dr. Dyson said, it's just purely colonial and it's white supremacist. And so there's no good reason for them to have to attack Tehran and to go in and kill their leader like that, and say they're going to kill anyone else who comes into leadership. And this is supposed to be suggestive of some kind of biblical or theological sanction. No, it's wrong. It's racist. It's supremacist, and it has to be revealed as such. And we must actively fight it, because they're not going to stop there. Israel wants to take over the whole region. They want all the Arab countries under their umbrella so they can exploit their resources. And in so doing, they at some point, I think they will be a menace to United States interests. They don't give a damn about the United States. It's all about them, the chosen people of Israel, even though they're Lithuanian, Polish, Russian, and don't have any Jewish roots that we can trace them to.
Dr. Sipes, the same question, sir. Where are we?
Well, I think, first of all, one, this is a very complex issue. And part of the thing that makes it so complex is because we've been told about lies about the United States' role in the world. We have been told that since 1945, we are just another country. And that's not true. Our ruling class has sought to dominate the countries of the world since at least 1945. We can take it back in specifics. I don't want to go there right now. The point being is that the United States is the homeland of the U.S. empire. And the U.S. empire thinks it can rule anything, it can wave its magic wand, etc. Now, we know the only part of the world that it couldn't rule from 45 to 1991 was the Soviet Union and its empire. But since then, the U.S. has been unchallenged. And I think Trump is just saying, he thought he would say boo and the Iranians would run away at him and give away to whatever he wanted. And what he found out is he was messing with the wrong people. Because I want to point out that of all the countries in the last 500 years, you can divide countries into those that are imperial, might makes right, they're going to go and rip and rob, and then the others that are victims. Well, of all the countries in Asia, Africa, Middle East, and Latin America, there are only two countries that were never colonized by an imperial country. One was Thailand, okay? The other was Iran, otherwise known as Persia. So here's a country with 5,500 or so years of culture, has never been conquered from outside, and Trump was stupid enough, because he knows nothing, but his idiots with him didn't realize that these were the wrong folks to mess with, and he's going to get a thumping.
PL, your thoughts on the thumping that's coming?
Yes, my grandmother used to tell me as a 7-year-old boy, "Moda kamata betne" in the vernacular, which means there is no medicine for foolishness. And we have a bunch of fools in the White House running the administration, and we have another bunch of fools in the Pentagon who are not standing up and calling them out as they should. And therefore, we are seeing the decline and the decay of the American empire.
Dr. Dyson, we have about 2 minutes. I'm sorry, Dr. Sipes.
Well, I was just going to say, the other thing going on besides the foolishness in the administration is the lies and the propaganda being told by the American press, the mainstream press. You will notice in everything I've seen, people going back and saying things started in 1979. The wheels started falling off the train in 1979. The problem is what they're not admitting is in 1953, the U.S. under the CIA, commanded at that time by Kermit Roosevelt and the British MI6, overthrew Iran's democratically elected government under Mohammad Mossadegh. And nobody wants to deal with it. This problem in Iran that everybody says we have is a product of U.S. imperialism in 1953. And if they're not talking about 1953, they're lying. It's pure propaganda.
Yeah.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., and this is my 61st birthday, and I have some of the most extraordinary minds in modern thinking at any given moment. I know that some of our guests may have to leave, but I want to thank Professor Michael Eric Dyson. I want to thank Professor Aubrey Hendricks. I want to thank Professor Sipes and Professor P.L. De Silva for joining me in this hour. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 50 for our remaining guest, who I hope will still be with us. I look forward to our conversation. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., age 61, when we come forward.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Esther Dillard with BIN News Now. Aaliyah Henderson, the Black Cleveland mother accused of killing her 2 young daughters, appeared in court today as the case moves forward.
Your case is being referred to the grand jury at the request of the state of Ohio. Your bond is set at $2 million.
According to WKYC, prosecutors say the bodies of 10-year-old Amor Wilson and 8-year-old Mila Chapman were discovered in suitcases buried in a shallow grave earlier this month. Henderson faces 2 counts of aggravated murder. President Trump says Iran's Navy and Air Force have been destroyed. Trump praised the U.S. military. He added the operation against Iran will continue. And tickets for the one-night-only showings of the Michael Jackson biopic Michael go on sale today. The early screening will take place April 22nd, with the wide release set for April 24th. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Now is the time to save on an award-winning Nissan at the Nissan Now sales event, featuring the Rogue, Pathfinder, Frontier, and more. Don't wait. These offers are going fast. Shop your Southern California Nissan dealers and NissanUSA.com today.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers are 6-1 in their last 7 games after beating Minnesota Tuesday night, 120-106 at Crypto.com. Luka Doncic had a triple-double with 31 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists. No LeBron last night. He missed his 3rd straight game with a sore elbow and a bruised hip. Until last night, Kobe Bryant's 81 points against Toronto in 2006 was the 2nd highest single-game total in NBA history. The 2nd highest game now belongs to Miami Heat forward Bam Adebayo. The 8-year veteran dropped 83 last night in Miami's 150-129 win over Washington. Wilt Chamberlain is number 1 with his 100-point game in 1962 for the Philadelphia Warriors. Adebayo passed LeBron for the most points in the game in Miami franchise history. LeBron had 61 against Charlotte in 2014. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
They say time flies when you're having fun. The founding members cohort is now officially over. Hard to believe. It's been a joy sharing what I've discovered after nearly 40 years of conversations with presidents, cultural icons, and game changers in every field of human endeavor. If you missed the first cohort, the good news is that we're already planning the next one. Now, the seats will be limited, and those on our waiting list will receive exclusive early access and special discounts not available to the general public. So, if you are ready to transform the way you connect, lead, and build trust, do not hesitate. Go to TavishTalks.com and join the waiting list today. That's TavishTalks.com. The next cohort is coming. Make sure you are in the room. I'm Tavish Smiley, and I hope to see you there.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with the world. African Focus Incorporated is a community-based organization whose mission is to bring Africans and African Americans together, lead charitable initiatives on the motherland, and educate people from all walks of life on the beauty, legacy, and opportunity of Africa's 54 nations. And it's that time once again when African Focus is teaming up with KBLA Talk 1580 for our 8th annual African Focus Trailblazers Tour. Travel with us in 2026 when we're headed to the Southern African nations of Zambia and Botswana for a historical, cultural, and vacation tour led by me, Dominique DePrima, Cultural Ambassador for African Focus Incorporated. Enjoy luxurious accommodations, conscious fellow travelers, shopping, adventures, cultural tours, wildlife safaris, and a giant waterfall, one of the world's 7 wonders, along with a chance to be of service at an orphanage on the continent. Become an AFI Trailblazer by exploring the motherland with a nonprofit organization that has members in Africa and America to help roll out the red carpet for you, and together we'll make a difference and have fun doing it. For more information, visit africanfocus.org or call 310-676-7300. That's 310-676-7300 or africanfocus.org. Whether it's stateside or exploring the diaspora, we're with you every step of the way. African Focus and KBLA Talk 1580. Come go with us.
You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Folly drops the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me.
Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. It is my 61st birthday, March 11th, 1965. We are worldwide with P.L. Da Silva on Wealthy Wednesdays on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Our very special contributor on this occasion is, of course, none other than Professor Sipes, as well as Professor Aubrey Hendricks is still with us in this hour. Dr. Hendricks, if I can pivot away from the conversation we were having in the last episode for a moment and just take a moment to reflect upon my father, Reverend Jackson. I know that you were one of his closest spiritual advisors and someone whom he had a profound respect for, so much so that even when I was incarcerated, he sent me all of your books and he said, study Aubrey Hendricks. Professor Hendricks, what is the legacy of the Reverend Jesse Jackson from your perspective?
You know, I tell you, since his death, I don't know, it's brought so much to mind. I've reflected on that legacy and how deep and how far-reaching it is. His legacy, it's just hard to describe in one conversation. I mean, for one thing, he inspired so many younger people. I'm not a lot younger than him. Well, I'm young enough, but I remember how inspired I was by his courage, by his style, by his the breadth of his political knowledge. I think also what will be understood more and more is the template that he provided. That's not that only I guess Bernie Sanders tried to follow. For really being populist, for really being concerned about the least and the left out. I think, though, that his shoes will be very hard to fill. I do know, though, if the Democratic Party or either party would pay more attention to how Reverend Jesse Jackson approached the issues and the humanity which undergirded everything that he said and did, and the fact that he really did encourage a rainbow coalition, I think that could really transform American politics, because more than anything else, Reverend Jesse Jackson focused on the question, what is just? You know, what treats people's needs as holy? And if we could embrace that again, ask the question, how do we love our neighbors as ourselves? How do we serve our neighbor as ourselves? I think that the political terrain could be greatly transformed.
And in this hour and in this moment, right in the middle of our 61st birthday celebration, crisscrossing the entire world, I shared with this particular young man and American hero some time ago that maybe the best thing that had ever happened to him was leaving institutional journalism, because I thought that what he truly had to offer was leadership for the American people in a way that institutionalized journalism was handicapping him. And so far, since his departure from institutionalized journalism, he has not disappointed me a single day. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, none other than the great Don Lemon. Hey, Lemon. Don, I think you're muted.
Let me just say, sir, you old. I would say something, let me just put it this way. Yo, A is old. You know what that means. Your donkey's butt is old. So, look, the affinity that I have for, first of all, let me say your family, and then I will get to your dad. And I hope I don't get emotional about this. But I thank you so. Sorry.
Take your time, Doc.
I thank you so much for inviting me to the funeral. But as you know, I've had so much loss. My own sister's plural in the last couple of years, and other family members who have passed. I couldn't. And so I must apologize for that, but I know that you understand. I watched every second of it, but I just couldn't, because I love you. I love Santita. I love Jonathan. I love Yusuf so much. You guys embraced me when I moved to Chicago and became my family, my chosen family, and my family from, another mother and another father. And your dad was like a father to me. And you mentioned inspiring young people. I'm not so young. I'm right behind you. I just turned 60. So he inspired me. And I remember, as I told you, sitting there watching both Democratic conventions and both runs, and your dad telling me that I was somebody. And that keep hope alive, keep hope alive, keep hope alive. And I know that people talk about, this person, Obama, being a great orator. I think your dad was the best orator of our time. There's no one who could give a speech and stir a crowd like the darn Jesse Jackson. I mean, make you stand to your feet, and emotion that just kept you on the edge of your seat and made your heart pound. And talk about being there. He was there for everything. So I don't want to disrupt your birthday, because I do believe it should be a celebration of life. Just as you celebrated his life, you should celebrate your life. But I just wanted to tell you that about your family and you, and my hearts and thoughts are with you. And I'll see you guys in Chicago soon. I love you, and happy birthday. How about that? I hope you're enjoying it.
I love you very much. Thanks, Don, for spending this time with us.
That's it. We're done. You're kicking me off. Hi, everybody. Hi, panel. Sorry to disrupt, but I just wanted to hug this man and tell him how much I love him. So happy birthday to you.
Hey, thanks, Don. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Brother Jackson, you asked me. I just like to. You asked me about legacy, and I have to say this: most extraordinary legacy of your father and your mother are you and your brothers and sisters. When I watched you all, 5 brilliant, eloquent, politically astute folk. Great orators. It's extraordinary. That's an important legacy and an important model, man. It's something that I don't know that America has ever seen. We have a joke in the White House now talking about his family, man. They're a bunch of crooks. Nobody has shown what you all shown, and that matters. That's because I remember when the first time he ran, you were all on the stage. You said, "We are the Jacksons." I remember folks saying, "Damn, that's right. They got the Kennedys, we got the Jacksons." It's still very inspiring. And at the Saturday service, I sat there in awe. And brother, I can't wait till you get back in Congress, man. I'm listening to you and I'm saying, "Oh my Lord, he's able to bring everything together." So I hate to interrupt. I just had to get that off my chest.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much, Dr. Hendricks, in this reflection. There's been a level of symbiosis between my father's thinking and mine, because I fielded a lot of his calls. Some people called him looking for me. When I had highs, he had highs. When I had lows, he had lows. Whenever the news media was chasing him down, they were really chasing us down. And so we developed a kind of an interesting symbiosis over the course of our friendship, over the course of our love and mutual respect for each other. Dr. Sipes, from your perspective, the legacy of Jesse Jackson.
Interesting, because I'm not coming from a religious tradition. I remember particularly in 1988, I was living in the Bay Area, and your father came to town, and I was working with an SEIU local, and I had to get the president to the speech right on time, and I just had a motorcycle, so I put her on the back of my motorcycle and went tearing through the streets of San Francisco to get her there. And your father, it was amazing that he brought so many people, different racial groups, different ethnicities, ages, classes. He brought people together and inspired us. And I think that's that inspiration that I remember back to 1988 was something that I always thought of him. I think his whole way of acting and the way of who he was and how he tried to promote good people and good thinking and things like that. I think that's some of his legacy that I certainly responded to.
I appreciate that. I do have the same question for P.L. De Silva when we come forward. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. More on Wealthy Wednesdays with P.L. De Silva when we come forward on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
While you're stuck in traffic, we can at least bring you up to speed on the news of the day. You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Getting around LA doesn't have to cost a lot. Metro has fares that fit every budget. 20 free rides for qualified riders through the Life Fare program. Free passes for students with GoPass and affordable options for everyone in between. Wherever you're going, Metro's got you covered. Visit metro.net/fare programs. Looking for a purposeful and passionate way to make a difference in your community? Volunteer with our Senior Medicare Patrol and help prevent Medicare fraud. S&P volunteers work in their community educating peers about healthcare fraud and how to prevent and detect it. Free training starts soon. Check us out online or at an S&P open house near you. We're on a mission to stop fraud. Join our team. You make a difference. Visit casmpvolunteer.org.
You've probably heard all those ads for life insurance. Just a few dollars a day, apply online in minutes, no medical exam. Simple, easy, and cheap, right? Now you're thinking, maybe I should get a quote. Well, smart thinking. Everyone should have life insurance. But here's what they don't tell you. Those few dollars a day rates, they're for young people in perfect health. That's why everyone calls Big Lou the 50 to 60-year-old not-so-perfect candidate. Like you. You take prescription meds and you're overweight. Winner, winner, fried chicken dinner. Well, Big Lou works with life insurance companies that want people like you with no surprises after you apply. In fact, if you're a 50-year-old guy with a few health glitches, Lou could probably find you $1 million of term life coverage for about $200 a month. So yeah, you need life insurance. But unless you're young and healthy, you gotta call Big Lou because he's like you, older, heavier, and on meds too. Get a quote right now at 800-529-2856, 800-529-2856, or biglou.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Michael's Daughter Foundation is dedicated to inspiring youth and resilience through storytelling, arts, filmmaking, and enrichment programs for youth and families in under-resourced communities and system-impacted individuals. The Michael's Daughter Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit providing free and low-cost arts programs to youth and families from under-resourced communities, both system-impacted youth and those affected by the incarceration of a loved one. 1 in 43 children in America have a parent incarcerated. 70% of those children are expected to end up in prison. Through filmmaking, animation, theater, and writing, they help young people express themselves, build confidence, and imagine new possibilities. Beyond the arts, they offer financial literacy workshops, emergency support, and scholarships. Because thriving takes more than talent, it takes access. To learn more about the impact of Michael Daughters Foundation and how you can be a part of the movement, please visit their website, michaelsdaughterfoundation.com. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Tired of being locked out of job opportunities and shut down by systemic racism? KBLA Talk 1580 stands with you in fighting for the rights of black workers, and we don't black down. The Los Angeles Black Workers Center is a dynamic alliance of workers, organized labor, community-based organizations, clergy, students, and scholars working collectively to improve the position of the black working class. The LA Black Workers Center takes a comprehensive approach to addressing the black jobs crisis. Their programs promote access to quality jobs, racial equity in hiring and retention, discrimination-free job sites, and they prepare Black workers for employment in high-wage career track jobs. The LA Black Worker Center supports workers who need help protecting their rights on the job. They give workers access to quality jobs and remove systemic barriers to employment. And they are advocating for a fair deal for Black workers in the new Los Angeles City Charter. To sign up for free career readiness training, get involved in organizing, or learn about union apprenticeship programs and trade registries, please visit lablackworkercenter.org. That's lablackworkercenter.org. Together, we can beat the Black jobs crisis and build a more equitable Los Angeles. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right. Y'all gotta try that Febreze car. Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Wally drops the beat. Come on and talk with me.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome aboard to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. On my 61st birthday on KBLA Talk 1580. It's Wealthy Wednesdays on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, and I have none other than our regular contributor on Wealthy Wednesdays, Dr. P.L. De Silva, and our very special guest, Dr. Sipes. Gentlemen, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Thank you.
P.L., I have a difficult question for you, and we've got 8 minutes for you to take your time and respond. Attending the funeral of the Reverend Jesse Jackson included the President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, the President of the Democratic Republic of the Congo attended the funeral of the Reverend Jesse Jackson. The President of Colombia from South America, each with their own security details, as well as State Department, U.S. government details, as well as U.S. Secret Service details, indicating and signaling that these guys are the real deal. Why would these three men need a Jesse Jackson?
So, I wrote this ode to your dad, and I said that his was a life that carried the rainbow. That's your father, right? And you know, he was a towering giant of the civil rights movement, and therefore he's a magnet that attracts not only people but also leaders, African leaders, South American leaders, and that was his character. He was a magnet. And we must also salute the fact that he is actually one of the architects of modern American conscience, right? That is what makes him special. And he kept hope alive during his lifetime. And the question we have to answer is, will we? So that is a question that all of us need to answer, as well as all the leaders who attended your father's funeral. The onus is now on us. And will we keep hope alive? The baton has been passed, and we need to fight and win and defeat the powers, the evil powers that are running this country, that is destroying this country dividing this country. We have become a deeply divided society, like all these countries that we saw in other countries, right? Where there were civil wars, there were all sorts of chaos and mayhem. We are going down that track. So we need to keep your father's hope alive, be courageous, and take on these demonic forces that have this country in thrall.
Pio, let me take this opportunity to introduce to some and present to others a young man who has risen to the occasion, whose leadership in our family is nothing short of extraordinary. A young man that has handled the arrangements of my father and has cared for my mother and has really, really taken the time to allow our family to mourn with the general public. His attention to detail is reinvigorating the National Rainbow Coalition, and I'm so very proud of him at this hour. He's such an amazing person. My younger brother, Yusuf Jackson, joins us on my 61st birthday. Yusuf, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on your first appearance on our show.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for having me, Jesse. Thank you for that very beautiful and warm introduction. I'm honored to work with you and Jonathan and our mother and the cadre of amazing advisors who have who are taking forward the Rainbow Push Coalition with me as their leader in front. But I will say that Reverend Jackson has a lot of foot soldiers. And the wonderful thing about taking leadership at this time is that I continue that the leadership and the advisory committees have continued to avail themselves to us and to me. So I feel like I'm not alone. I feel like I have a lot of wisdom carried forward, the same wisdom at one level that helped carry our father forward. I had not intended to, I wasn't aware of your topic today, Jesse, but obviously our family is going through a heavy period of grieving and of loss and of contextualization of our father's work. And there's also some reconciliation of our father's work with him as a father and as a leader for those of us who are his offspring. So we have to have time to sort through that. But I wanted to say to you, happy birthday. Happy 61st birthday, Jesse Jackson Jr. You look like you're aging in reverse, Mr. Jesse Jackson Jr. Buttons. Who's that guy?
That's Joey Jackson.
Yeah. But happy birthday, man. I'm excited for your show. I pray that it is God's will that he give you an opportunity to help shape policy in this nation and give you a victory on Tuesday. I think the country needs your voice elevated in the Congress again. You have my full support, and since I'm in your district, you have my vote, my household vote. I look forward to punching that ticket for you again after so many years. So I love you, Jesse. Happy birthday. Enjoy your show. I look forward to coming back at some point soon and talking about the work of the National Rainbow Push Coalition. There's a lot of work to do. One of the things our father taught us was we have the power in our hands. He used to give an example of Moses preparing to cross the Red Sea. And in a moment of faithlessness, Moses dropped his ordinary looking crooked wooden stick that they called a rod or a staff in a moment of faithlessness in God. And there's one part of the story that suggests that rod turned into a snake and became actually a threat to him. But when he regained his faith, he picked up that snake, it turned back into a rod. That rod was empowered with God's power, and it opened the Red Sea, and he was able to take his people across to freedom. So we have rods, we have tools. One of our tools is the voter registration process and our ability to vote. We are here not because of some fait accompli. We're in this position because we've lost this election by the margin of our despair, by the margin of our frustration. We got a little bit too cute thinking, there are these problems with men and women, so forth and so on. And we voted for what we got. And if we vote the margin of our hope, we will take back the Congress, take back the Senate, and take back the White House. And
That's
that's
so-
what the Rainbow Push is working on at our convention in June, and then our voter registration drive throughout this summer, and then going to the polls in November.
I'm going to have you back on our show to go through the entire Rainbow Agenda under your leadership. I'm so very proud of you, Yusef. You're listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward on my 61st birthday. My family and friends have been stopping by.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, Yusef.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Esther Dillard with BIN News Now. Aaliyah Henderson, the Black Cleveland mother accused of killing her 2 young daughters, appeared in court today as the case moves forward.
Your case is being referred to the grand jury at the request of the state of Ohio. Your bond is set at $2 million.
According to WKYC, prosecutors say the bodies of 10-year-old Amor Wilson and 8-year-old Mila Chapman were discovered in suitcases buried in a shallow grave earlier this month. Henderson faces 2 counts of aggravated murder. President Trump says Iran's Navy and Air Force have been destroyed. Trump praised the U.S. military. He added the operation against Iran will continue. And tickets for the one-night-only showings of the Michael Jackson biopic Michael go on sale today. The early screening will take place April 22nd, with the wide release set for April 24th. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Now is the time to save on an award-winning Nissan at the Nissan Now sales event, featuring the Rogue, Pathfinder, Frontier, and more. Don't wait. These offers are going fast. Shop your Southern California Nissan dealers and NissanUSA.com today.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers are 6-1 in their last 7 games after beating Minnesota Tuesday night, 120-106 at Crypto.com. Luka Doncic had a triple-double with 31 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists. No LeBron last night. He missed his 3rd straight game with a sore elbow and a bruised hip. Until last night, Kobe Bryant's 81 points against Toronto in 2006 was the 2nd highest single-game total in NBA history. The 2nd highest game now belongs to Miami Heat forward Bam Adebayo. The 8-year veteran dropped 83 last night in Miami's 150-129 win over Washington. Wilt Chamberlain is number 1 with his 100-point game in 1962 for the Philadelphia Warriors. Adebayo passed LeBron for the most points in a game in Miami franchise history. LeBron had 61 against Charlotte in 2014. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
They say time flies when you're having fun. The founding members cohort is now officially over. Hard to believe. It's been a joy sharing what I've discovered after nearly 40 years of conversations with presidents, cultural icons, and game changers in every field of human endeavor. If you missed the first cohort, the good news is that we're already planning the next one. Now, the seats will be limited, and those on our waiting list will receive exclusive early access and special discounts not available to the general public. So, if you are ready to transform the way you connect, lead, and build trust, do not hesitate. Go to TavishTalks.com and join the waiting list today. That's TavishTalks.com. The next cohort is coming. Make sure you are in the room. I'm Tavish Smiley, and I hope to see you there.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Oh, 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 oh. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Oh, 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 oh. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Oh, 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 oh. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Oh, 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 oh. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA, Talk 1580, download the app.
Jesse Jackson Jr., welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. It is turning into a birthday party for me right here on KBLA Talk 1580. So grateful for Phil De Silva in the last hour, our regular contributor, but in this hour, none other than Dr. S. Todd Yeary, pastor of the Douglas Memorial Church in Baltimore, Maryland, He has one foot in the pulpit because he's also a lawyer, with one foot actively in the courtroom fighting for justice, defending clients, and advocating for what is right. One of the closest lieutenants to my father, the late Reverend Jesse Jackson, was Dr. S. Todd Yeary, whose advice my father counted on critical issues that confronted almost every category known to the law. And I'm so grateful that Dr. Yeary is with us in this hour. And I also see in this moment my baby sister, Ashley Jackson.
Happy birthday, big brother.
Hey, Ashley, I love you.
I love you too.
You know, I got away from you so quickly after the services that I had no idea you were departing. And I think back to Los Angeles, California. But Ashley, your speech was absolutely fabulous, fantastic, heartwarming. It was rich. And I have to give you some love for that. And I see Dr. Yeary is also giving you love for that. Ashley, I'm sorry. It's so rare that I have Ashley on my show, and I'd love for her to come on as often as she'd like. But Ashley, I do want to ask your question. Your thoughts about Dad in this hour.
I feel like I have so many thoughts at any given moment. It's almost impossible to kind of contain. I mean, there's obviously profound grief, but such a deep, deep love. Dad feels ever present right now to me. Like, and I am consciously aware of his transition, but I feel him so close, and I feel his love so close. And I think the love of his work and the outpouring of that love from other people, it's just like, I feel like a rainbow of love right now. I think that's how I feel about Dad in this moment. It's just, he feels very near right now, and I'm very grateful that he feels so close at this moment.
You know, before I bring Dr. Yeary in on that psychological thought right there, I do want to pick up on what you just said there, Ashley. It is the people, from my perspective, that has made this burden so much lighter.
Mm-hmm.
From the hugs at the funeral itself, to when I took my clothes to the cleaners, to when I'm walking through a grocery store, and to people who are pressing the flesh with me right now saying, thank you very much for your father and my sincerest condolences. And right when I want to go over in the corner and cry, someone pulls out their cell phone, Dr. Yeary, and shows me a picture of them with Reverend somewhere, some year, and they pride it as part of who they are. Mm-hmm. And so my grief is instantly transformed from a head bowed in sadness to a chest poked out with gratefulness. And in a real sense, Ashley, and I'll ask Dr. Yeary this question, Dad prepared us for this moment because he made the transition so much softer by the way in which he cared for other people. Dr. Yeary?
Well, let me start with first, happy birthday.
Thank you, Dr. Yeary.
And let me also, on behalf of a very grateful community who has been privileged to share a bit of your father, how proud we are of all of you for the way that you modeled dignity and grace in your grieving over 2.5, almost 3 weeks. This is a tremendous loss for the world. And we really didn't know how to handle this grieving until you all modeled it for us. Listening to your remarks and your reflections allowed us to walk this very painful period, because most of us have never known a world that didn't have Reverend Jesse Jackson in it. And so the world is different now, but we're comforted by the continuation of his work and his love and his presence through all of you. You all were tremendously amazing. And I think I've heard it over and over and over again, just how we beamed with pride with how you all modeled your dad's love.
Thank you very much for that, Dr. Yeary. Dr. Yeary, you know, we have about just 2 minutes before we come forward. Your initial thoughts on the legacy of the Reverend Jesse Jackson?
It's y'all. Listen, you kidding me? Look, that's the easiest question I've had in a while. I had conversations with your father about all of you at some point or other. And invariably the conversation would be not who would continue on in his work, but how each of you would take on your own piece of that next phase. And so when I think about the legacy of Reverend, it is that Reverend always served so that whatever he accomplished outlived him. Too often we have funerals and we bury a lot of people who never really reached anywhere close to the pinnacle of their potential. We don't have that here. Reverend gave us better than we deserved, much more than we'll ever imagine. And I think it gives us all an opportunity to kind of get in where we fit in and do good work.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You're listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. It is my 61st birthday. Our regular contributor in this hour is none other than Dr. S. Todd Yeary, who's both a lawyer and a full-time pastor of the Douglas Memorial Church in Baltimore, Maryland. And I'm joined in this hour with our first-time guest, but it will not be her last time on this show, my little sister, Ashley Laverne Jackson. Ashley, I'm so grateful you're joining us on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. And she's in LA. More on KBLA Talk 1580 when we come forward on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
All the women who independent, throw your hands up at me.
This March, we're turning up the volume on the women who changed everything. KBLA Talk 1580 is proud to celebrate Women's History Month, honoring the trailblazers, truth tellers, and game changers who shaped our world, our culture, and our community. From the freedom fighters to the firsts, from the boardroom to the front lines, from the unsung to the unforgettable, all month long, we're celebrating the stories, the voices, and the conversations that remind us that women, Black women, have always led the way. Don't miss a moment. This is our moment. This is our story. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580, Los Angeles' home for the conversations that matter.
I'm your girl, you're my girl, we your girls. Won't you know that we love you?
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part, they accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Febreze. New Febreze Air Mist has 50% more odor fighters and up to 30% more fragrance than the old formula. So now you can take on 100% more stinky odors, like sweaty gym bags, greasy cooking smells, and the after effects of the dog rolling around in something. Just spray, and new Febreze Air instantly restores just clean freshness. Smell you later, odor.
Happy Febreze, la 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 la.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Folly, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to
Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
Come on and listen to me.
Having a birthday party. My 61st birthday, born March 11th, 1965, when my father was in Selma, Alabama on the 2nd March from Selma to Montgomery, called Greenville, South Carolina, and found out that his firstborn son was born. My mother wanted to name me Jesse Jackson Jr. My father put up a strong argument that he thought my name should be Selma. And I just love my mother so much for not going down that road with him, because he used to get caught up in the moment. And the consequences of that moment for me could have been devastating. Anyway, I'm celebrating my 61st birthday with two people that I have great admiration for, starting with someone I absolutely love. My baby sister, Ashley Laverne Jackson, who is quite a talented actress, guess they call you guys actors now, and I don't understand that. But
We're all of the things.
yeah,
Whatever
she's
you want us to be.
she's an artist, she's a producer, she's a writer, she's multi-talented, and I'm so grateful that she's on our show. And of course, Dr. S. Todd Yeary is our regular contributor. And now I see in this real moment none other than a man that I've developed an appreciation for over the last year, and I'm going to say this very publicly. If I am successful in this campaign this coming Tuesday, it will be in no small measure because of, I think, the brightest player on the American political stage is actually someone who has been engaged in campaigns, but I have never seen him operate quite like this. And he's operated in a completely volunteer capacity. But I'm telling you, and I've managed and been engaged in presidential campaigns since 1984, but I've never met anyone with the skill set that John Diggles has. John, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Jesse, thank you. I came on to say happy birthday to you, and you just gave me a great gift. So thank you very much.
Hey, brother, listen, I know in the future I'm not going to be able to afford you, so I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful for what I've gotten for free for the last year and a half. And I'm very, very grateful for your advice and for our friendship, which has delivered us to this point in our effort. John, your initial thoughts from the private sector about Jesse Jackson.
Well, thank you, Jesse. Happy birthday to you. It's great to be on with S. Todd Yeary, such a great guest. And to see Ashley. Ashley, it's good to see you again. Jesse, your father changed the way we do business. And he taught a lot of us, so many of us, about how economic justice fits into civil rights and social justice. And because he took on that fight, he changed the way business is done, not just in America, but globally. He changed the way boardrooms look. He changed the way executive wings looked. And he taught brands to be smarter by hiring people who truly understood the communities we were going to serve. I think your father was one of the great business minds of modern America, as well as an iconic civil rights leader.
You know, Ashley, our brother Jonathan, in his brilliant remarks at Dad's homegoing services, referred to our father as the centerpiece of diversity, equity, and inclusion for the last 50, maybe 60 years in American life. I want to leave you the freedom to reflect upon Dad in whatever way that you'd like, but these are enormous shoes to fill when the private sector, the public sector, and various sectors, including arts and entertainment, have to come to terms with who your father is and was.
Yeah, I mean, I think of all the reflections, and this one was even remarkable. Over the last 2 weeks, we've heard so many. I just keep thinking there was a conversation I had with Dad in which he described his work as thankless work. But he proceeded to say that he never did any of this work for praise, and that people who are craving thanks typically don't deserve it, and those who deserve it typically don't receive it. And so I think about now just seeing the thanks. And I know that Dad was able to hear those thank yous from his children, his grandchildren, and many of his friends and colleagues. But to see the thanks from people across the aisle, to see the thanks from people who I never would have thought would acknowledge his impact, that's the mark for me of this distinct moment in time, is that Dad is now being positioned, I think, in a new light, in a new kind of aspect ratio in this rainbow of his, receiving the thanks for which he's deserved since he started his work in the 60s.
Ashley, you know, we stood side by side with our father while he laid in repose, and just the number of people who had stories and wanted to say thank you, who came just to say thank you, came to see, if you will, the stranger who in their life changed the trajectory of their dreams and their expectations and gave them hope. That was probably the proudest moment in the 3-week celebration of Dad's life to me. And I'm sure it was for you as well. Ashley?
Absolutely. I think even more so. I mean, to see the 6 of us, not even at the final celebration of life, but during those times when he was lying in repose, it felt like a great honor to stand, even in our brokenness, to stand for Dad's work and for his lineage of service that we all embody now. And to do that alongside each of you, I think will be one of the great honors of my life, to be able to pay back Dad for everything he poured into me and into us in that way together.
Dr. Yuri, I'd like you to contextualize it as best you can. I do have another special guest who just came in, who I know is extraordinarily busy, but we'll deal with, he'll be welcomed onto the program in just a moment. Dr. Yuri, Ashley and I are siblings, and John Diggles, I've asked him in so many different ways to manage our communications as my campaign, but also as our family during some of this period. Contextualize, if you don't mind, Dr. Yuri, how Reverend Jackson's children in this context had to relate in their father's interest, the extraordinary legacy of warmth that he conveyed in every phase of his life.
You know, this, I always get one time every Wednesday to ask you, so this is what we're doing now.
This is what we're doing now.
This is it. That is such a weighty question, but having been privileged, and I mean that in every sense of the word, to spend time with Reverend, with your dad. First of all, no one can know what it's like to have to live in the world and say, my dad's Reverend Jesse Jackson. In many ways, it's the ideal for those of us who don't know. In the reality, because of his bigness, of how much he has meant across so many spaces and categories of responsibility, it's a tremendous weight of expectation. What are you all going to do to continue to do all that your dad has done? And so I think when we consider what this looks like, I think it allows us to be creative. I think this is almost like a Plato moment. First of all, your dad was not driven by money. And so he was able to do things out of a sense of gifted compassion because he was not a transactional leader. It is that kind of self-giving spirit that is very often missing, especially in our current political climate. And so as his children who have learned from him, watched him, walked with him, you all become the continuation. You become our North Star, that we do not lose our way and become warped in our outlook, that everything comes with a price, and that service somehow means you're going to get a check.
I appreciate that very much, Reverend Yuri. I want to welcome one of my good friends, a young man who really needs no introduction, but Reverend Jesse Jackson was particularly proud of him, and he took time out of his very busy schedule with his lovely wife to come to the city of Chicago and grieve with the Jackson family. Joey Jackson, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 80.
It is a pleasure and a privilege to be with you, fine sir. I want to wish you a happy birthday. I want to ask you how you are holding up. You are a man of great character and judgment. Your dad was so tremendously proud of you, as all are we are. And I mean, you know, I just want to be able to call you, in addition to the number of other good things, Congressman. Okay. So again, you know, a happy birthday to you. It was nice to be with you and your beautiful family. And just to celebrate your dad's amazing life. And so, you know, again, you're a tremendous human being, as is everyone in your family, and it's an honor and privilege to know you and all.
Joey, you know, I want to say thank you very much for the birthday wish. As you guys know, I turned 61 years old today, and I wasn't quite clear on the direction of the program until Gina started surprising me with the guest that it became a birthday party. So I got me a little libation during the break because I feel very good about that. But I looked out on the crowd at the memorial service for my father, the private ceremony, and of course, sitting in the second row, just right behind my family, was Joey Jackson and his wife. Joey, could you comment for a moment about the historical significance and what that felt like to you in that moment?
Yeah, it's really hard to describe. I mean, just the energy in that room. You know, I have to go to your brother Jonathan's speech and him electrifying the crowd and him reminding us what the legacy of your dad is all about. And as a person who, really owes so much to you and your family and your father by virtue of the way he paved, when you talk about history, sometimes we forget, right? We hold these titles, we hold these jobs, we go into these corporate settings, we have these meetings, we, go into our homes, apartments, but there are people who paved that path. And to have a person who was able to stand up to power to make it easier for a person like me and so many others to move around in this society. And I've said it on air and I'll say it until the cows come home. It's not lost on me that, I would not be an attorney at law. I would not be an analyst for CNN. I would not be so many things if he didn't speak truth to power. So being in that moment of just an icon of someone who everyone could relate to, and just being there with the family and the electricity and, the way that you, after Jonathan, and there were a number of, obviously very magnetic speakers, but the way that you spoke from the heart as you did, and, you were tearing up, obviously, who wouldn't? But bringing all of that into perspective was just, it was an out-of-body experience. And so, your dad lives on in the legacy of you and your family. He'll continue to live on, but I just can't ever forget, and the world will never forget, I think, all he meant and all he has done. But what a tremendous honor to be a part of and be in proximity to that. It's something that I certainly will never forget. And it's something that as I try to live every day and obviously glorify God, and fail like so many others do with that, I'm just hoping that I can continue to do my duty to glorify God, to glorify your dad's message, and to just be the best person I can to be counted on to carry it forward.
When I think about Joey Jackson, I know that he's going to have to leave us now. I think about my father's preparation. My father said that the television cameras do us absolutely no favors. Everybody wants to be on TV. Everybody wants to take a picture. But he said, television cameras do us no favors. They will either show you as prepared or unprepared. And I haven't met a mind more prepared than that of the mind, the legal mind, the thinking, the moral compass of attorney Joey Jackson. Joey, thank you so much for celebrating my 61st birthday with me on our show.
It's a pleasure to do that. And as I leave, I will just remind you, as a point of clarification, sir, that you were not 61 years old. You were 61 years young. And with that...
My sisters continue to say somewhere between oldest and eldest. I don't know.
So you be well, you take care, and it's a privilege. Again, I'm honored, and to all the other guests who were there, keep doing what you do. We all have to keep going, keep building, keep rising. Rise, Jesse, rise. Rise, Jesse, rise. Okay.
Proud of you, Joey. Love you, brother.
Thank you. Love you more. Be well.
Ashley, I know that I'm losing you too, Ashley. And we have 2 minutes before the conclusion of this segment of our program. Ashley, for 2 minutes, some final thoughts that you might want to share.
I mean, where to begin? I mean, I'm just filled with such gratitude. I'm filled with such gratitude that as a family, we were there to hold each other during one of the hardest moments of our lives, that the world was able to hold us in our grief, but also that we were able to hold them in theirs. And I think the beauty of the legacy that Dad leaves us, even on your birthday, is the fact that we all know that we belong to one another. This wasn't a grief that we could have held on our own, and I don't think it's a grief that the world could have held on its own. And so I'm grateful to be in coalition with you always, also to be your sibling and to learn from you, and grateful for your support and love, just as a big brother and as a human being. I'm so blessed to know you.
I'm so very proud. And John Diggles, you and I are going to hang around for a minute, because not only do we have work, maybe not on the show, but not only are you hanging around because of the extraordinary work that we have over the next 5 or 6 days to complete a monumental task that's before us, but there is no doubt in my mind that we have established a friendship and a bond that's going to change the trajectory of the United States of America and maybe even our world. I don't know a mind that's clearer or concise, except when you call me and says, Congressman, do you have 2 minutes for me?
Well, before we go, I just want to compliment Ashley. What an absolute beautiful reflection you gave on Saturday. You moved that entire place, Ashley, and it was so authentic. And I want to thank you and thank Jesse for helping us heal. We healed with you, and the strength and dignity that you gave us as a family was incredibly important. Ashley, you really represented incredibly well on Saturday, and thank you for what you gave us.
Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, John. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. You just heard from my sister and from Mr. John Diggles. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Esther Dillard with BIN News Now. The U.S. and Israel's war against Iran has entered its 12th day. President Trump says Iran's Navy and Air Force has been destroyed.
We have hit them harder than virtually any country in history.
Trump was speaking to reporters while exiting the White House for Ohio. When asked, he said he was unaware of a report that says the U.S. is at fault in a deadly strike on an Iranian elementary school. The New York Times reports a Tomahawk missile strike happened at the start of Operation Fury, killing at least 175 people, with most being children. This morning, a jury announced a verdict finding rapper Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, must pay $140,000 to a handyman who worked on his mansion in Malibu. And rapper Rick Ross is set to celebrate the 20th anniversary of his debut album with the Black Tie Orchestra tour. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Now is the time to save on an award-winning Nissan at the Nissan Now sales event, featuring the Rogue, Pathfinder, Frontier, and more. Don't wait. These offers are going fast. Shop your Southern California Nissan dealers and NissanUSA.com today.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers are 6-1 in their last 7 games after beating Minnesota Tuesday night, 120-106 at Crypto.com. Luka Doncic had a triple-double with 31 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists. No LeBron last night. He missed his 3rd straight game with a sore elbow and a bruised hip. Until last night, Kobe Bryant's 81 points against Toronto in 2006 was the 2nd highest single-game total in NBA history. The 2nd highest game now belongs to Miami Heat forward Bam Adebayo. The 8-year veteran dropped 83 last night in Miami's 150-129 win over Washington. Wilt Chamberlain is number 1 with his 100-point game in 1962 for the Philadelphia Warriors. Adebayo passed LeBron for the most points in a game in Miami franchise history. LeBron had 61 against Charlotte in 2014. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about. I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/groundadvantage to learn more.
Attention community leaders, are you ready to strengthen your impact in the community? For more than 25 years, Community Development Services has helped nonprofits build strong communities by empowering community leaders and emerging professionals with the support they need to create lasting change. Starting a nonprofit or need a fiscal sponsor? Need expert nonprofit accounting services? Want nonprofit financial management training for your staff? Are you a college accounting student seeking an internship opportunity? Call 424-289-4330 or visit communitydevelopmentservicesinc.org. Community Development Services, providing support, improving communities.
Real talent is defined by what people can do, not where they learn to do it. So by stopping at the education section of a resume, you might throw away the perfect hire. You might miss someone who has valuable skills to offer to help your business thrive right now and in the future. Because the truth is this. Skills First Hiring helps you see talent others miss, like more than 70 million stars, skilled through alternative routes. When you let their story unfold, you gain a competitive advantage because hiring managers who start with skills are 60% more likely to find a successful hire. See the real person, complete. See what others miss. Hire skills first. Learn why it's a competitive advantage at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Quality drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to the me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to the me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to my 61st birthday party, which started out as Wealthy Wednesdays on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. On Wealthy Wednesdays, Dr. P.L. Da Silva and Reverend Dr. S. Todd Yeary are our regular contributors during this hour. And my producer has decided that she's going to turn the show into a birthday party. And so I want to thank my very good friend and a brother beloved who has prayed with my father, prayed with me, and has given me a tremendous amount of latitude to share on KBLA Talk 1580, my good brother Tavis Smiley on his wonderful station, KBLA. And now I'm looking live on the screen at none other than a young man that I thought when I was growing up, I was going to be his leader. And now it's increasingly clear that he is my leader, the distinguished, the first congressional district of Illinois, my brother, Congressman Jonathan Jackson, whom I did not expect as a guest, is our guest in this moment. Hey, Jonathan.
What's up, man? I'm not a guest. I'm wishing you a happy birthday.
Oh,
what's up, fella? Do they know your baby name?
No, they don't know my baby name, Jonathan, but thank you for telling them.
Yeah, I call him fella. Love you, man, and God bless you. Congratulations. Happy birthday. 61 great years around the earth. And you are my leader. I always have looked up to you, big brother. So happy for you, proud of you, and I admire your resilience, your courage, your character, your fight. So stay on the battlefield. You make
Jonathan,
Dad proud, you make the family proud.
I love you so much, Jonathan, and I want to thank you for the way in which you've handled this very difficult period for both our mother and all of our siblings. Not all of us share our grief publicly as much as some of us do, or even privately. But Jonathan has been a real enormous pillar of strength during this period, and I know that not only has his leadership demonstrated for our family, but it's the kind of leadership that is steady and stable, even in the midst of the national crises that we faced. Jonathan, thank you for being on my show and wishing me happy birthday. I love you, man.
Is that big head Tavis? I shouldn't have said that. No. I take that back. I didn't mean like that. The honorable, the incomparable brother Tavis Smiley. I didn't like that. I didn't know everybody was looking, man. I'm sorry. What's up, Tavis?
It is big head
What's
Tavis.
up,
before the congressman leaves, let me just say to both of you, I'll get to Jesse's birthday stuff in a second. Before the congressman leaves, let me just say thank you to Jonathan and to Jesse and to Santita and to your mother and to your baby sister, Jackie. The family has been so kind to not just KBLA, but indeed to me. I know that everybody and their mother wanted to talk to y'all, wanted your own reflections during this very difficult period, which is not over. You don't close on the death of a loved one like you close on a house. But I feel especially proud and humbled by the fact that so many of you, Jonathan, Jesse, Santita, appeared on our program, appeared on our station when people wanted to hear directly from the family. Again, I know everybody was after y'all, but thank you for honoring KBLA. Thank you for honoring me, Jonathan. It was great to have you on the program the other day and to see you in Chicago. But so I'm thrilled with the possibility of the two of you working together again in this unique way, potentially in Congress once again. So everybody's excited about that. And I just want you all to know that to watch your family at these services, all these services the last 2 weeks have been inspiring and empowering and uplifting. I don't think y'all know. It's going to take a while, but I don't think you all know the way in which you have lifted the spirits of everyday people with the way that your family was so forward-facing in this moment of grief, but everybody eloquent, everybody expressing themselves, everybody composed. I mean, you all were just, as somebody said at the funeral, you are Chicago's royal family. You are Chicago's royal family. But I think it went beyond Chicago over the last few days. The whole nation has seen this proud, steady, stalwart Black family in a moment that can only be imaginable, is unimaginable, rather, the grief that you all were enduring. So anyway, I just want to say thank you. I don't speak for all of Black America, but I am right now. We love y'all. There ain't nothing y'all can do about it. And you all made us so proud, helping us to navigate our way through this difficult moment. Jonathan and Jesse, love you both.
Brother Travis, yours is the only program I did, only interview that I've done.
Wow.
Because your family and any of your friends are my friends. And so appreciate that. Thank you for listening to Jesse Jr. 2 hours every day, all day.
I love it. I love it.
You are real. If not, we would have had to listen to him. So thank you for sharing. And listen, so I hope that people across the country, they didn't see a family that has perfection. They saw a family that has purpose. And so I hope that message came out. And we're anybody else's family. You know, we've come together on broken pieces, still making it. And so when we are able to face forward, we want every family to know, hey, you can do the same.
Yep.
So love you, man.
Love you, man.
I appreciate you. All right, Junior, happy birthday. And I look forward to you first giving me my birthday gift from January 7th. And I'm going to give you your birthday gift for today. So let's catch up, okay?
Okay, so I'm waiting for January 7th, 2027. You're not talking about the one that just passed.
Oh, you're still within 90 days. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're still within 90 days. You can get it in on time.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
A birthday present from me to you might be a fill up on a tank of gas, given all the going on in Washington, D.C.
I would be grateful. I would be grateful.
I love you, Jonathan. Congratulations.
Hey man, where did you get this theme music from? Tyvus, hook me up, man. I need some
Farley,
theme music, man.
Farley will give you a theme song, Jonathan. You'd be like, I'm gonna get you something. I get finished with you, brother. Drums.
I need let's do it again. I need Uptown Saturday Night. Let's do it again, baby. Hey, man.
I love you,
Travis. Love, man, of all the years. Thank you, Travis, for being so consistent. And people, they don't know the half of your story. You are a fighter, and the spirit of Ida B. Wells and those great legends, man. Thank you for carrying that torch, picking up that mantle and running to speak truth to power and unwavering.
You,
love you, baby. Bye, Junior. Bye, Travis.
Love you, Jonathan. I'm proud of you. So proud of you. Okay, Brother Tavis. Jonathan has me now scratching my head. I feel like scratching my head and my behind at the same time, like I belong in a cage or something. Tavis, so grateful to you for the time that you spent with us in Chicago and the crowd's overwhelming response to you. I think everyone recognizes that there's a tremendous leadership void in the country in light of the loss of the Reverend Jesse Jackson, and that everyone expects you to play a significant role in helping fill that void. Tavis, how do you navigate that? How do you navigate the loss of Jesse Jackson? And I know that we have just 2 minutes before we come forward, but how do you navigate that, man? I mean, this burden shifts to people like you. Oh, wow. And then here comes the burden shifter. Representative Justin Pearson, just in time for Tavis to answer and say, I'm giving it to Pearson.
You know what? I'm getting out the way in 2 minutes and let Pearson have it. Let me just say, your father is absolutely irreplaceable. In the history of this republic, there has never been and never will be another Jesse Jackson Sr. Dr. West and I were on WGN the day of the service before we got to the House of Hope for the service. Did a bunch of media that morning, and on WGN, we had a chance to really push back, Jesse, on this framing that the New York Times initially started by suggesting that your father was too late to be Dr. King and too early to be Obama. And that framing, that boxing was all wrong, and I wasn't going to have it. And so Dr. West went in while we were on WGN in Chicago trying to set this framework properly. And so my sense is that we've got our work to do in the months and years to come to make sure that your father is properly framed, that he's properly compartmentalized. But let it be said, there never has been and never will be another Jesse Jackson Sr. All that we can do is to pick up this baton that he's laid down and honor him by keeping hope alive every single day. The Bible I read says that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Your father didn't have reason most days of his life to be optimistic about anything. But we can always build lives on nothing but hope. Your father proved that to us, and we will forever now keep hope alive as he challenged us to do. So for me, it's just a matter of doing the best we can with what we have right where we are to hold up the bloodstained banner and to speak on behalf of those who are dispossessed and demonized and disenfranchised, the damned, that de-alliteration that your daddy ran so beautifully in that now classic speech. So we will honor your father by representing the best for our people. I close with this. I don't know what is going to be placed on the tombstone of your father. That is not my purview. That's the family's decision, obviously. But I can tell you what I believe and the way I describe your father in one sentence. He loved his people. He loved his people. And if nothing else is ever said about me or you or Brother Pearson or anybody else who fights every day for the best of our people, just to know that we loved our people and that we are acknowledged for doing so is all I need to hear. And so I just close by saying your father loved us and we felt that. We know that. And our somebodyness comes up because of his encouragement to be everything that God made us to be. So I'll do my part, as I always have, to honor your father. And the best way I know to do that is, again, to keep hope alive. I'm out of the way. I'm passing the baton to Justin Pearson. Jesse Jackson Jr., happy birthday, man. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You're listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. Everyone in the studio knows that our boss has just spoken, and that's why we're at the 47 and not the 46. When we come forward, Justin Pearson, a young man who represents the legacy of Jesse Jackson in so many profound and proud ways, and I'm honored that he's our guest. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580 with Representative Justin Pearson.
While you're stuck in traffic, we can at least bring you up to speed on the news of the day. You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. only on KBLA Talk 1580.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt? Angela was. She called Civic Tax Relief and saved over $80,000. Felicia was having health problems, got behind on her taxes, interest and penalties were adding up. She called Civic Tax Relief and saved over $15,000. Civic Tax Relief is a professional tax negotiation firm that can protect you from the IRS. If you're getting collection letters call Civic Tax Relief for a free consultation. They will go to work helping you discover all the relief programs you may qualify for free. James owed the IRS $37,000. Civic Tax Relief represented him against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, he did not owe the IRS anything. If you are in trouble with the IRS, call Civic Tax Relief for your free consultation now. 800-200-2257. 800-200-2257. Get a free consultation and real tax relief. Call 800-200-2257. 800-200-2257.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. At the heart of the Al Wooten Center's mission for good citizenship and academic excellence is a desire to ensure that every student avoids the kind of lifestyle and overcomes the kinds of challenges that led to the murder of Al Wooten Jr. In 1990, founder Myrtle Fay Rumpf opened the center in honor of her son's life. In 2026, they are serving more than 300 students in grades 3 through 12 annually online and on site at their youth center and other sites in the South LA area. The Al Wooten Jr. Youth Center takes a neighborhood approach to the revitalization and empowerment of the community in crisis. The Wooten Center provides free after-school and summer programs to help students in grades 3 through 12 attain grade-level proficiency and promotion, high school graduation, and college and career access and success. The Al Wooten Center focuses on academics, STEM, the arts, and so much more. Join them for an enriching experience that sparks creativity and nurtures young minds. Tap in at WootenCenter.org. That's WootenCenter.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Created with a share of the 1984 Olympic Games surplus, LA 84 began operations in 1985 as a grant-making and educational foundation. Today, the LA 84 Foundation supports hundreds of nonprofit youth sports organizations throughout Southern California annually, trains coaches, commissions research, convenes conferences, and maintains the world's premier Olympic and sports library collection. They are transforming lives and communities through the power of youth sports. To find out about youth sports programs for yourself or your child, and to get information about the grants and support they offer to schools and nonprofits, or if you want to make a donation, please visit la84.org. That's la84.org. Or you can call them at 323-730-4600. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
What if your rooftop could earn you money every year? With LADWP's Solar Rooftops program, you can get solar panels installed and maintained on your home at no cost and earn up to $900 a year. That's up to $18,000 over 20 years. There are no upfront costs, no credit checks, and no annual fees. Plus, you'll help power Los Angeles with clean local solar energy and reduce reliance on fossil fuels. Make your rooftop work for you. Apply today at ladwp.com/solar rooftops.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, where we are celebrating our 61st birthday. A very special guest, and he has a bill on the floor of the legislature, and he's is Representative Justin Pearson. Justin, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Thank you so much, and happy birthday to you, good sir.
Justin, I sure appreciate that. I know that you are an extraordinarily busy man and that you have legislation on the floor of the legislature that you have to get to. But Justin, I want to share with you this. First of all, the entire nation is extremely grateful to you for the leadership that you've shown, for the generational leadership that you've shown. You stand as an obvious pillar of strength in that respect. The passing of Jesse Jackson, in a real sense, there's also the passing of a baton, a very, very weighty baton to you and to others similarly situated. But to you in particular, because of your national prominence, Share with us, if you don't mind, a little bit about that weight and what you plan to do with it. Thank you, Representative Pearson, for being here.
No, I'm so grateful to be here. So grateful to you and to Gina for the opportunity to worship and to celebrate just the amazing legacy of your father in Chicago this past weekend as well. And look, the responsibility is also an opportunity. And as so many of us feel, it's an obligation. We have to do something to improve the life of Black people in the United States of America and across the world. And as so many videos and images of your father were shown across the internet, one that people won't think, impacted me the most, it wasn't one of the huge speeches of stadiums filled with people or those moments in the civil rights struggle. It was actually watching him on Sesame Street.
Oh, wow.
It was looking at how receptive the young people were and the fact that he was on public TV making these declarations of power and empowerment to an entirely national, multiracial, multi-ethnic, multi-socioeconomic audience, right? In that way, on that platform, in a way that I have not seen, right? Or at least know of that has happened since by someone with as much power and authority as he had. And so when I think about how we continue this legacy and continue this work, it's remaining proximate to working class folk, making sure we lift up the people who've been pushed to the bottom, Black folks who've been turned away and turned out of opportunities. And what was so eloquently said in your words, remembering the stranger, and your brother's words as well, just making sure we are always mindful that our society has tried to make an entire community of nobodies.
Justin, thank you.
That we're persevering into who God's called us to be.
Justin, I know that you are going to deal with some critical legislation. And Todd, thank you very much for joining us as well. I'm so grateful for you all spending this final moments with us on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Look forward to having both of you back on as soon as possible. I have two very special guests who are now joining us in this particular hour, and I want to thank them for joining us as well.
Well, hi, Pops.
Oh my goodness, it's Jesse Jackson III. My son is joining us on the program, and I can't say enough about how proud I am of him. I saw him hold his first press conference.
Dad, can you hear me?
Oh,
well, I'm very honored to be
shoot.
a part of Wealthy Wednesdays with you.
Can you hear me? I can't hear anybody, but happy birthday. I love you.
61 years young.
Oh my God, I don't know why I can't hear, but I see Trey.
Always.
Jessica can't hear us, but I'm so grateful that both of my children are joining us in this hour. And I can see my son who's here. Jessica, can you hear us? I think Jessica's in a struggle with her hearing, but we certainly heard her voice. Jesse, your grandfather was an extraordinary man. Can you share with us some of your thoughts about how extraordinary he was in your life?
He was a mountain of a man and a legend indeed. But what was most impactful about my grandfather to me was how he was able to not only have enough time for the world, but have enough time for each and every one of us. Throughout my entire 22 years of living, I don't feel as though there was a single moment where I couldn't contact my grandfather and he'd be there within the next day or within the next hour. And throughout this entire 2-week journey, it's been amazing to hear these stories from the community, no matter where we've gone, from Columbia to Nashville to Chicago. But relating it to my own personal experience with my grandfather, it connects so well because he treats everybody like family. And his personal connection with the world and with me is just one that I don't think I'll ever be able to forget. And his kindness and empathy is something that we need to see in a lot of people nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Grandpa knew every soul food joint from Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Hey, Jessica, from Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in Los Angeles, all the way to Dookie Chase's in New Orleans, Louisiana, all the way to Soul Queen and Army and Lou's in the city of Chicago and Gladys's. Jessica, are you here?
Yeah, Dad, I'm here. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Booba. I really appreciate that. And thank you very much for calling into our show. Booba, we have a little less than a minute. Can you share with us a brief reflection on Grandpa? Jessica? I think we have a difficult communication with Jessica. Uba?
Yeah, can you hear me at all?
Yes, I can, but I think we're running out of time. Jessica, thank you very much for calling in and wishing your dad a happy birthday, okay?
Yeah, of course. Love you very much.
I love you more, and I want to talk about your art one day on our show and do a demonstration right here on KBLA Talk 1580, okay, Jess?
Okay, Dad.
I love you so much. Jesse the Third, thank you for joining us on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. More on KBLA Talk 1580. It's my 61st birthday. I want to thank Tavis Smiley and KBLA for allowing me to have a birthday party right here in real time. So grateful to God for all of you. Until next time.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.